Hello guys, it's Boris again. Before we proceed with implementing our consumer for our SaaS service, we should do some extensions for our service. We need a documentation and some security settings. Also, we should do a refactoring here because this is not a good practice to have custom names here, and we left the project in this state. We have implemented to calculate methods. We use only this one. We remove this one. So let's execute one request. Okay, we have input result. We have 5 to the power of 2 now. Okay, let's execute it. The result is right. It's correct, I mean. So what can we do now? Let's remove this. When you don't specify the name explicitly here, JSON property annotation will pick up this name and this name in this scenario. Let's wait for the while load now. Okay, and let's execute the request. You should see here it's called input right now, and it's getting it from here. So this is the first part. Now let's see our POM file. We need Swagger documentation and we need Spring Boot security. I have a little spreadsheet here. Let's add the Spring security first, and let's add this dependency. How we can find it? We can go to the web and open memo repository, the public memo repository. We can search for this artifact here. Okay, we found it. This is the version, the latest version. If you open it, there's information here for some other dependencies which are compiled while using this, and we can see here is vulnerability information in one of the dependencies, and it's not good to have the vulnerabilities in real life projects. For example, tools like Black Duck will catch these vulnerabilities, and the product owners will not give you a permission to release your project with vulnerabilities. Here, if we open this vulnerability, we can see the description for it, and somehow we should mitigate it, or don't use this version, or exclude it from the dependencies if it's possible. But this information only, so we will use this one. We grab it from here, we paste it in our POM file. I'll delete this comment. Okay, so if IntelliJ doesn't pick by default those new configurations, you should do clean install. Okay, and after that okay, after the project is built, we should go to file, invalidate caches, clear file and system files. So for those of you who don't know, if we go to the project structure and I execute this command, it will show Maven on my local machine. See the version here, 396, but there is embedded version, embedded Maven in the Spring Boot project. We can call it this way, and you can see it's other version than this one. This one is 399. So be careful with those things. So when I use this from the IDE, I use the embedded version. So, and for this, we have the dependencies now. This is the Swagger URL. Let's try to open it. We are not running the project, so normal, it will break. It's still indexing things here. Let's wait for it. Now let's run the project. Okay, it's running. Let's try to open the Swagger now. Voila, we are in. Okay, here's our endpoint. Here is our schemas. Input DTO information. Imagine you're standing from the side to the consumer and you have information here for the types of the variables. They are double. In the result we have nested object, input DTO. We have composition here. And when we consume this, we can do it by this documentation only, because we cannot guess what will this number will be. For example, it can be a string and we cannot consume it properly. So it is good to have this documentation generated by Swagger automatically in our project by defining just this dependency here. Okay, Spring Dog and this artifact ID. It's a bit long. So the second part, let's create a security configuration. Let's create package config and inside it another package security. Security config will be fine. I have implemented it before the video. I'll break it down. Enable web security annotation. Provide us with the defaults. Here, security filter chain. I'll explain it after a second. I have added a custom filter here to explain you a bit for the security chain. Here is the class. Let's put it here. Sorry. Okay. Custom filter. Now a lot of imports here. We will extend our custom class from the generic filter bin. all filters are beans. No, I want to import the exception, not to create it. So, well, I undocked this. Never mind. We will adjust it for now. I don't want to lose your time. And okay, we tell it here. Okay, I'll fix this error. It's like a bug from the event. Now it will suggest me to be a method reference. Before that it didn't find it. Okay, now we say the first security filter here. Let's open the documentation. Spring, the architecture, a review filter, and also filter chain proxy. We have security filter chain. Okay, so when a request is coming in from the client, it coming through all the filters before getting to the servlet, and vice versa. From the servlet, the response is coming back through the filters to the client. And we have a security filter here. For now we have a default implementation. We permit all requests when we have authorization, and we use the basics, totally default security implementation here, and we have our custom filter here, where we dump some information to the console for the request, remote address, local port, the response content type, locale, and we tell this method, which takes these parameters, filter and filter class. The second one tells that this custom filter comes after the authentication filter, this filter here. So if we make a breakpoint here, for example, okay, and we put the application in debug mode, what can we see? Here is the initialization of the filters. Okay, and now when we make a request, the same request to calculate, voila, we are in the custom filter, and now you can see we are dumping some information, the port, the remote address, and the response content type. You can see it's application JSON, and the locale is English, BG for Bulgaria. And this is how the filters work. There are a lot of stuff going on here. You can write it, you can read it here in the servlet application architecture part. There is a lot of information. This is the official site of Spring, docspring.io. Okay, we are done with the refactoring of this service. Now we can implement the consumer now, and this is for now, guys.